and you know why you're here. Here we are, chapter 17 today of the book Ask and It Is Given. We are making such good progress. Chapter 17 already, and I feel as if I just started doing these reviews. All right. Chapter 17 title is Where Are You and Where Do You Want to Be? Now, Abraham's analogy about the GPS system has always been one of my absolute favorite analogies. And that's what they're referring to over here. Our emotional guidance system is... Oh, Stella doesn't agree with me. Hang on, guys. I have to let my puppy out. So, our emotional guidance system, which is basically the emotional scale, is exactly like the GPS in a car because of a couple of things. First, the GPS needs to know where you are. Next, the GPS needs to know where you want to go. And then it plots the course for you to go from here to here. It does not ask you where you have been. And it does not ask you why you were there for so long. I love that. I love that. I have a sort of a similar analogy that I like using, and that is, if you leave your house in the morning with the intention of going to another city, and somewhere on the highway you take the wrong exit and you go to a gas station, and then you see this guy there and you say, oh, thank God I can ask this person for help. And you go up to the attendant and you say, I left my house in the morning. I was in Toronto. I took a left turn onto this avenue. Then I turned right onto this avenue. I took another right on this avenue. Then I got onto the highway. And then I took an exit, this. And after that, I turned here. Then I turned here. The guy's going to look at you like you're crazy and ask you, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. Where do you want to go? And that's exactly what Abraham is talking about over here. Who cares where we've been, and who cares what problems have happened in our lives? None of that matters at all. The only thing that matters is starting exactly where you are and going forward to where you want to go. Disregard the past, because if you do not disregard the past, you keep it active, and because you keep it active, you bring it with you from the past into the now, because you're bringing the feeling of it into the now. And because you are putting your attention to it, you push it into the future, because you're giving your energy to it. Whatever you give your energy to, you literally push it into the future. And if your past is not something that you want to live again, then leave it be. Don't think about it. Don't tell anyone about it. When your thoughts go there, because if you're used to thinking about it in the beginning, your thoughts will go there. Stop and remind yourself, not doing that. It does not serve me to do that anymore, because I know better now. I didn't know better before. And that's why I was behaving in this way that got me these results. And I know better now. I'm not going to behave that way anymore. I know that I can change what happens next in the future by changing the way I think. And that's all I need to do. I just need to change the way I think, and when I do that, then the future is going to change. Because I can be more deliberate about how I think my thoughts today, and that's going to change everything in the future. Just a tiny little bit of a shift in our thoughts creates a big shift in what happens next. And I think I gave this analogy before, but I'm not sure that I did, so I will show you again. It feels as if I might have, but you know what? I do so many of these presentations that after a while they all kind of blend in together. So I feel like I have to tell you this, so I am going to. All right, so here's the thing. Hopefully you can see my board. Can you see my board? Okay. Here we are on our big blue planet. And the intention is to go or to send a rocket to the moon. The thing is, in order to send the rocket to the moon, you have to very carefully collaborate this trajectory or the path of the rocket. If you make a mistake and instead of this trajectory, you end up just shifting it a couple of feet on the earth, and then, is that a straight line? You can miss it. Sorry, not a straight line, but you get the point, right? So what happens is a little bit of a shift. If you were to shift this line, you don't have to shift it over here. That's a lot of work. But if you were able to shift it just a little bit right over here, then everything would be on target and you'd hit the moon. So a little bit of a shift is all that is necessary in order for us to change the trajectory of how things will happen in the future. Just a tiny little bit of a shift. People think, and I used to think when I started working with the law of attraction, I used to think I have to do something big. I have to change a lot. I need a surgery, like a mental surgery. Abraham calls it a lobotomy. You need a lobotomy so that you can start thinking differently and then start getting different results. But that's not what we need. All we need is just a little bit of a shift in our thoughts. Instead of taking this exit, take the next exit, right? It's that little bit of a change. It's not a huge change. But if you do the little bit of a change, you'll get on target. And the sooner you do it, the better it turns out, right? So the important thing is to notice your emotions, because the sooner you notice your emotions are going just a little bit south, you know that you are off track. That's how we have something that is better than the finest computers in the world that track all the aircraft and all the jets that we send out. We have a tracking mechanism inside us that is better than all the equipment in the world, because it tells us fractionally if we are deviating from our plotted course. The worse you feel, the more you know that you are deviating from the plotted course. I'll give you a little example, and this happened this afternoon. I was driving. I was going to drop my son off, and I started listening to a CD that was in the car. I hadn't heard it for a very long time, and I really like the songs. They're beautiful songs on that CD. So I stuck it in, and I had forgotten. But I remembered as soon as the song started, I remembered that this song had very unhappy memories attached to it. And so this was the song. So my ex-husband was a semi-professional classical singer. And this song that I ended up listening to was the song that he used to sing on stage with the woman that he cheated with on me. And so as soon as I put this song on, I was like, oh no. And I kind of sort of was enjoying the song. And then I thought, isn't it terrible that I've got this memory attached with this song. So then I put it off, and then I noticed how bad I felt. I felt so bad, viscerally, physically bad. I felt nausea. I wanted to throw up. And then I said to myself, you know what to do. You know what to do. So number one, throw this CD away, get rid of it. It's a good thing you didn't listen to it for I don't know, a couple of years. And next, what can you appreciate? So I was driving, and that was a good thing because I could look out and see the sky, and I could see all sorts of other people, and I could see trees, and it was a beautiful day today. It was just perfect, lovely sunshine, nice and cheery, and I put on different music. That helped. So you see, you have to pay attention. Now, I had the choice. I could have listened to that song, and then I could have started thinking about how things went wrong and what happened, and I could have stayed in that state for a very long time. But I did something to shift my thoughts because I was like, I know better. I know that if I think about this, I'm not pushing more of this into the future, although I might be. But what I am doing is by creating this vibration in my life, what's going to happen is when I get to work then, after I drop my son off, I'm not going to be in the same place. I'm not going to be as energized. I'm not going to be as ready for what I want to accomplish during my day. So I stopped. I paid attention to my emotions, and I stopped, and I did something different. And then I congratulated myself because I felt so much better. And then my day went really, really well, right? So this is the thing. We have this, it's like the GPS. If you take a wrong turn, the GPS immediately starts telling you, when possible, take a U-turn and go back. Or when possible, turn this way or that way, because it wants to get you back on track. And our emotions do the same thing. Our emotions keep telling us, here you go, you're not feeling good, this is not good, this is not good, stop now, stop now, stop now. Shift your attention to something else. And we need to pay attention to that guidance. We need to pay attention to that guidance and do something about shifting the direction of our thoughts so that we can feel better. Okay, so that's the GPS. So the thing that Abraham wants us to know is that it doesn't matter where you are and what has happened before, because the GPS has the ability to plot the shortest course towards your destination. Whether that destination is a beautiful new relationship or a pot of gold or health or whatever your destination is, whatever your desire is, the GPS knows how to get you there, cut through all the traffic, take the side roads. The GPS knows how to get you there really, really quickly. But if you ignore the GPS, then you might just remain lost in those streets for a very long time. So paying attention to the GPS is a really good thing. Then the next thing Abraham says is, others, do not take advice from others, because if you listen to others, you can never figure it out, because as many people as give you advice, each one of them has different advice. And so you can't please everyone. We say that all the time. You can't make everyone happy, and that is so true. You cannot make everyone happy. So who are you going to prioritize? You have to prioritize yourself if you want ultimate joy. Because if you don't prioritize yourself, if you prioritize someone else, that feels like a sacrifice. And a sacrifice creates attachment to the outcome, because when you sacrifice for someone, you say, okay, I did this and one day I will get a return. And now you start looking for that return. And when it doesn't come and you have a dispute with this person, then you throw it in their face. I did this and I did this and I did this. You ungrateful, whoever you are, you ungrateful person. You don't remember all these things that I did for you. And then that person turns around and says to you, you know what they say? They say, I never asked you to do that sacrifice. If you hadn't done it, it would have been okay with me. I would have figured it out. If you did the sacrifice, you did it of your own free will. Why are you blaming me? See? So prioritize yourself. Put yourself on the top of the list. There's an exercise that I do when I do talks and webinars, and I get people to pull out a piece of paper and I ask them to write the names of the people who are the most important in their lives. And usually, only if someone has already done the exercise before will they put their own name on that list. Most people will not put their name anywhere on the list. It's always children, parents, husband, wife. It's always other people. It's okay to love other people, but you can love other people and make them feel loved without putting yourself down, without becoming a doormat, without hurting your own feelings in order to make someone else happy. Because love is a vibration, and as long as you can close your eyes, bring that person's face into your mind's eye and send them a huge, big hug full of love, they will never misconstrue your intentions. Let me give you an example. If I don't want to do something that maybe my daughter has asked me to do, but I don't think that I have the time to do it or whatever, it's going to make my day worse to help her or to make her happy. All I do is to send her a big blast of love before I say no. Because no doesn't mean I don't love you. No means I can't do this for you. That's really all it means. Don't connect the two. Love doesn't go away because I'm not available to help you with this thing that you need help with. Love is a constant. That was a book I started writing a couple of years ago. It was called Love is a Constant. And then I never finished it. Maybe one day I will. Okay, anyway, let's move on. So then Abraham says, when you are in a state of connection, anything or anyone that you are holding as your object of attention benefits from your attention. See, this is so important to understand, that we can improve our vibration. So pay attention to this. You will, and experiment with this. If you experiment going out into nature, go for a long walk, be in the middle of an ocean on a liner, a sea liner, be up in the mountains, be in the middle of a forest, you feel good. It makes you feel good. You know why it makes you feel good? It makes you feel good because nature has a natural vibration that is high, because nature is connected to source. Your puppy is connected. My beautiful puppy is connected with source. And that's why when I hug her and squeeze her tight, it makes me feel good, because some of that high vibration that she has rubs off on me. My kitty cat comes and licks me, makes me feel good. I can feel the love. And when they are expressing love, they are in direct connection with source. And I have goosebumps. And that's what it means to be with someone who is connected to source. So imagine what happens when you become like your puppy, connected to source. Can you imagine how much you benefit all the people around you? That is why people gravitate towards someone who is cheerful and happy and has a smile. Because everyone wants to feel good. And it's not the smile on your face that makes them feel good. It's how you vibrate. Oh my God, I used to thrill in the feeling of being hugged by my maternal grandmother. The reason was because her love was so pure. That hug was worth so much to me without words. Can you think of a person in your life whose hug makes you feel as if everything, all stresses in life have just melted away because they love you so much? I know and I remember in my deepest, darkest moments coming home and putting my head on my mother's shoulder and her holding me tight, me sobbing my heart out, and my mother saying, "It's going to be all right." And the love that I felt from her gave me the deep down absolute belief that yes, things are going to be all right. Do you have someone in your life that you feel that way when you're with them? Go and seek them out and give them a big hug. And then be them. Become like them. Become like your cat. Become like your dog. Become like your puppy. Become like that tree whose vibration invites. It invites all sorts of critters and creatures. All benefit from it. We benefit from it. That happy tree that celebrates every spring. That is why the only thing that is important, is that we go up the emotional scale and stay in a place of anywhere between satisfaction and joy. Because if we can accomplish that, if we can do that, then not only do we thrive, but everyone around us thrives, and we contribute towards the thriving of the universe, the thriving of this planet. And isn't that the most valuable contribution that we can make? Yes, people go and volunteer and do these things and this thing and this thing and this thing. But if you never did any of that, and if you just sent love, if you became that oasis, that lamp, light in the darkness, and then that light would grow, because one candle has the power to light thousands of candles. Yes, and you can be that candle. Okay, move along. So, your happiness does not depend on what others do. Be unconditional. Don't let others control your emotional state. You be in control of your emotional state regardless of what anyone else is saying or doing. Sometimes you have to soothe yourself by saying things like, they don't know any better. They don't understand. They are not coming from the same place as me, and that's okay. It is their journey. I cannot rush them through it. And sometimes you have to leave your loved ones behind. A lot of times, have you not heard so many people say when they start this journey that their relationships change? Sometimes you end up leaving people behind, but you don't have to stop loving them. You can leave them behind in the sense that you don't try and drag them along on your law of attraction journey. You don't try and explain everything. Imagine what kind of a friend I would be if I started correcting all my friends. Every time somebody tried to talk in front of me, if I was pointing out, oh, you're negative. You're negative. No, you don't do that. You let it go and you understand that that person has their own journey. And it's okay. It's okay for them to have their own journey. much as we love them and much as we want better things for them, but if you give it to them on a platter, it is useless because they don't understand it or they don't attach any value to it. Abraham says again and again, and I totally believe them now from my own experience, that if you give someone something that they are not ready for, it's meaningless. I remember when I first saw the Secret movie, I made tons of copies of it. I bought the book and gave it to everyone that I knew, all my dearest friends, my family members, my brother, my sister-in-law, my parents. Everybody got a copy. Everybody got a copy of this book as well. I gave out a lot of copies of this book and other books from Abraham. But those people that I gave them to, 6 months later, I meet someone and I say, "Oh, did you read it? Did you read it? Did you read it? Did you get what I wanted you to get out of it?" And they say, "Oh no, I haven't had the time. I've been so busy. I never had the time. I was just, there's so much going on. I'll read it. I'll read it. When I read it, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I read it." Yes, I heard that from so many people. So many people. And then I said, "Okay, my money, I'm keeping it. You want to learn? You go buy your own book." Yes, because sacrifice is not a good feeling, right? Okay. When people are ready to learn, that's why that Buddhist saying, such a beautiful saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. There's no point in a teacher appearing and trying to teach people who are not ready to learn. Okay, each thought moves you closer or further from San Diego or your goal. Each thought moves you either closer or further away from whatever it is that you want to achieve. And the most important thing is right at the end of this chapter. Abraham says, "Why does saying no to it mean saying yes to it?" Why? Why does saying no to it mean saying yes to it? Because it's attention to it that activates it energetically. And whatever you give your attention to, whatever you impart your thought energy to, you have now activated it. And you get to decide. You can activate a subject from a point of having or a point of lack. Whichever end of the subject you energize, that is what goes into the future. And not only does it go into the future on this subject, that vibration makes all other subjects in your life gravitate to this level. Everything comes and settles here. And that's why it's so important to be conscious of how we are thinking and learn the difference between what constitutes a negative thought and what constitutes a positive thought. So, I want more money is a positive thought. I don't have enough, how will I pay the bills, is a negative thought. What do you say more to yourself? Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? How am I going to do it? What will I say? How will I pay this bill? If you spend more time here, then this is the end that gets pushed into the future, and it is the end of lack of money. So what you are doing without realizing it, and this is what Abraham says all the time, it is our lack of awareness of what we are feeling, thinking, and doing that takes us into a future that we really did not know that we were creating and we did not mean to create. This is the reason why bad things happen to good people, because those good people have been unaware. They did not know, they did not understand, doesn't matter what the reason is, but they stayed more on this side of lack. And the side of lack is the side of complaining, you see? Because every time you say, I want something and I don't have it, when you say I don't have it, or when you notice that you don't have it, look at my shoes, they're old, I wish I had new. I don't like the shoes that I have, right? Inadvertently, we push negative vibration into our future. And that is what this whole study of this really important manuscript is meant to do, is to give us those tools that help us to do things differently so that we can create a future that is completely different from what we have created so far. Better in many, many ways. Not only for us, but that we can be a beacon of light and goodness and success for other people as well. All right, folks, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm so happy that you are here, and I'm going to be back tomorrow with another chapter of the book, Ask and It Is Given. I hope you found this valuable, and if you did, please leave me a comment. You know what would be really, really nice is if you left me a comment to let me know what was the main thing that you got out of our discussion tonight. Take care, folks. Have a fabulous rest of the evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.